Hi, my name is Kim Cavan, and I am going to be showing you my presentation for our Marketing 2390 class. Hi guys, today for my informative presentation, I'm going to be teaching you how to bake warm, soft, yummy, tall butterscotch cookies inspired by the Harry Potter stories of butterbeer. These ones are just butterscotch cookies. I love baking. I'm a mom. I love to eat. So hopefully you like this recipe and a few tips I'm going to share along the way. Hi guys, for today's objectives, I hope to identify tips for making soft, tall, and delicious butterscotch cookies. I'm going to break it down into 3 steps for you. Also, I want to motivate the audience, you, to try new ideas to improve your cookies next time you bake at home. This can be used for any type of cookies, but also other recipes such as breads, cakes, anything like that you want to maybe add a little extra fluff or just a little extra love to your recipes. So I first want to start off with a little activity. I want you to imagine the best cookie you've ever had. I mean, think of the memory. It could be a birthday party, a family party, a gift, any type, or you just happen to be tasting the best cookie. So I'll give you a second to think about that. Now imagine the best cookie that you have baked. This can be a shortbread cookie, chocolate chip cookie. It can be basically your favorite cookie, but it has to be something that you've baked. Now, are they similar? Are they the same cookie? How are they different? Think about the texture, the flavor, the size, the presentation. Can you replicate the methods of the best cookie that you imagined and you're baking? Even if you don't have the recipe for that cookie, you could make something that has 3 of the 4 or as close as we can get to that best cookie you've ever had. For my first tip, I want to talk about butter. Now, often people will argue whether to use soft or melted butter. For me, I'll give you the quick tip: soften the butter in the microwave. I usually do it for about 20 seconds, just so that way the middle on top is slightly squishy, but nothing's melted. I usually don't have time, and I don't really plan ahead for when I need cookies. Ideally, you want the butter to be room temperature, but in quick scenarios like, hey, I have something to be in an hour, or I forgot to make cookies for my family party tonight, you can just put it in the microwave for 20 seconds and it should be perfect consistency, not melted, but also soft enough to start whipping and blending together. But in the rare case, sometimes more common, we accidentally melt the butter. That's totally fine. Technically, you can still add it to your cookies. They might just be a little runnier, which means they won't hold their shape as good. Sometimes, if I do that, I throw the butter in the fridge for 10 minutes, mix the rest of the ingredients that I can, take a break, go do one more thing, come back. The butter should hold its shape more, and go ahead and throw it in to your mixing bowl. Next, let's talk about flour. For the short version, don't overmix. When you turn on the mixer, that's whipping at such a fast speed that sometimes the gluten can get mixed in there and it starts to get almost stringy or watery looking even. I recommend, I know it's hard, it's difficult. I sometimes even mix the flour by hand, or I mix half the flour in the mixer, take it off, hand mix the rest of the flour, add chocolate chips, the rest of that. By doing it by hand, you're able to not only make sure everything, including the bottom of the bowl, gets mixed, but you're able to stop right when the consistency is fully integrated, but not to the point where it's over whipped and it starts getting that weird, like too liquidy feeling. You want it to be almost like a rough putty, but not like Play-Doh's a little too soft, if you can imagine those textures. Um, and you can do this with any flour. I've made with gluten-free flour before as well. Sometimes you just gotta up the ratio slightly of more flour, less liquid for gluten-free recipes, but same idea. Don't overmix it. You want it to just be incorporated, not whipping even after all the flour is gone. And the third one, chill out, dough. My biggest recommendation is for cookies to be chilled. If you want them to stay tall, kind of that like half-inch height or more, you got to put them in the fridge. This helps bind the butters, the flours. It kind of helps everybody stick together. That way, when you pull it back out, you start scooping, they'll be tall. Admittedly, sometimes my cookies don't even make the shape. They stay in that scoop shape. So sometimes even after I let it chill, I'll kind of squish it in my hand a little bit just to make that half-inch tall cookie, but it bakes perfectly. And the other thing, you don't have to chill your dough overnight or for 6 or 8 hours. I sometimes just chill my dough for 15 minutes. Pop it in, clean up everything on the counter, pull out my cookie sheets, go get a drink, come back, the dough's chilled, ready to be scooped. So it doesn't have to be a long, drawn out process, but it does make a difference. In summary, the top 3 tips: butter, soften in the microwave; flour, don't overmix it; and chill. Don't forget to chill the dough. Also, a bonus tip: after the cookies are baked, I like to leave them on the cookie sheet for about 2 minutes. This helps them slowly come back to room temperature, and then they'll start holding their shape better when you go to scoop them off that cookie sheet. I think we've all had that experience where we accidentally squish the cookie into the corner. To avoid this, just let them sit for 2 minutes. It's so hard when they smell so delicious. You want that warm cookie. It'll still be warm in 2 more minutes. After that, I do move them to a warming tray, the cooling racks, even just on the counter, just to let them rest until they're fully shaped and cool. But to be honest, we all sneak a warm cookie. So if you mess one up, that's the freebie. And one bonus thing I'd like to offer is for you guys to come meet me in person. I know this is an online class, so a lot of us might be spread out, but in case you're on campus, I am a fellow at the E2I office. It's located in BA 205. I'm at the desk there Monday and Wednesdays from about 12 to 3. Feel free to stop in, say hi, and you can sample one of these butterscotch cookies. And finally, I would hate to leave you without the most important part: the butterscotch cookie recipe. Go ahead and screenshot this, share it, take a picture, whatever you need to do. Pause the video, write it down. This is the recipe that I love. It's an easy recipe for any home baker. It's not too complicated. The key ingredient, though, is the butterscotch instant pudding mix. I add 2 small boxes. If you can find one big box, that's cool too. Add that. But all the rest of the ingredients are pretty straightforward. And you, again, use those tips. Soften the butter, don't overmix, and chill out, dough. Hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.